I've been on a career-long mission to play a part in bringing principles of sustainable gardening into the mainstream. I've talked about it a lot over the years here on the program, but I've also been hands-on with projects in that time that really illustrate the benefits of planning for sustainability from the outset. When an old mate of mine asked for my help to create a new garden with a minimal footprint, it was actually an invitation to create maximum productivity with multiple benefits. That was back in 2018. You should see it now. Hey, Marty. Martin Ander is an environmental engineer.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
So we were singing from the same song sheet from the start. And full disclosure, he was my PhD supervisor some time ago. Martin, what attracted you to this location in the first place?
Oh, this whole village here, it's been redeveloped, the whole site, and it had lots of sustainability features in it. Communal solar power systems, battery banks, you know, different types of housing. So I actually found this lot here, and I thought this was actually the best lot in the whole development. Beautiful east-west orientation, plus had beautiful northern exposure. We're always going to get totally unhindered solar access, and just perfect for having a permaculture garden on the north side.
What was your vision for the home and garden design?
The vision was actually to see if we could get some co-housing happening on this site. And the vision was to make sure the whole building is set back enough to get a big enough garden. You know, everything in here is organic, polyculture, trying to get a diverse garden. So we're always harvesting something all year round. That's the aim, so we've got a really productive garden.
There's also compost bins and a worm farm. And of course, edible plants of all shapes and sizes. From a sustainability perspective, these homes really pack it in.
We've got two on here.
Compact living, climate responsive design, and a shared solar system that powers both homes. Every inch of space in this 274 square metre block has been planted up.
We've got so many different hydro zones in the permaculture garden. We've got garden beds, we've got flat spaces, we've got raised spaces. You know, we've got different fruit trees in there, and they're all layered, actually, so that you can actually get a lot of plant diversity in a small space.
Even the rooftop of the shared carport, which includes a range of native species suited to the shallow soil.
We've got the courtyard behind the fence there. There's a rainwater tank under there.
Wow, this is looking good, Joe. A venture like this requires mutual respect to work successfully. And Martin and Joe and their good friends Andy and Monica have this in spades. So there are two outdoor living spaces, yeah? One for you and one for your neighbours.
Yes, that's right.
How's that working?
It's what makes it so nice is if something's not working in our garden, then we just head next door.
Okay, and they're cool with that?
I mean, obviously for us, you know, that being as productive as it is, we really have doubled up with the produce across both the gardens so that, you know, everyone's got their own to come out to and collect for lunch.
And around the ground level, you're just swamped with pretty much every single type of herb I can imagine.
We decided to make sure that we could really get to them easily, so by having them between the house and the garden means that you can just access them whenever you need them.
The pomegranate hedge is really beginning to do its thing.
Yeah, so really for us, having this sort of integrated garden means that it is nice to be able to look through, but that extra bit of privacy as this has grown up, we're really enjoying it.
And I guess being deciduous, you get that privacy in summer when you're probably spending more time out here, but in winter all the light comes through.
Really for the garden, that's such a key, which means we get fresh greens all year round because the light is coming through then.
And it's the same idea with the grape, where you've got summer shade, but then winter light coming through to warm the home.
I know, look at it. It's really starting to fill the space for us.
It's all well and good for you guys, but what do your neighbours think about it?
Well, actually, let's go and ask them. They're up on the roof terrace.
OK. This is a block that really is shared, not split with two individual visions.
Hey, you guys, how you going?
It was critical that both parties had a unified plan to get the most out of this space. Andy, this arrangement of having shared living spaces is pretty uncommon these days. Were you apprehensive at all before diving in?
Marty and Monica and I had been neighbours for a number of years before we began this project. So yeah, we've learned a little bit about each other, of course, along the way since we started. But it's not like we were complete strangers before the project began.
Monica, how about privacy? Because personal space is important too, isn't it?
I absolutely love it. Because of its design as well, we've got like trees, you know, we've got the pomegranate trees providing some shade and some privacy as well. We've also got a passion fruit vine, and when that's in full bloom, you've got privacy from the street.
Do you find that the garden actually makes a meaningful contribution to what you're eating each day?
Every day I go out and pick something. It might be some parsley for on top of the soup, or it might be some herbs to go in with the cooking. At the weekends, foraging around, making pickles and jams and things like that, so it's fantastic.
Whilst this project is clearly a standout example of sustainable design and living, you don't need a blank canvas for this story to be relevant to you. The efficient use of space for increased productivity applies to all gardens, no matter how big or small. The sharing of space, well, that takes things to the next level. And as we all look for ways to do more with less, let's hope it takes off.